welcome to episode 29 of the Money Sauce podcast. We are we're here for a week of a whole bunch of breaking-ish news. Um, Garrett,
Yeah, I'm here.
tons of news on the Whitecaps this week.
Great. Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's get into our soccer segment.
We need a graphic for a soccer segment.
Everybody. Um, so as a quick reminder, the Vancouver Whitecaps are up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a bid from a group in Las Vegas to move the Whitecaps to Las Vegas, and that's kind of where it's at now. Today, I saw Jeremy Filosa, who is a Montreal radio host, and he also worked for Apple TV as a commentator. Apple TV being um, the streamer that carries the MLS games.
Yeah.
He tweeted earlier that Major League Soccer clubs have been informed to expect an announcement regarding the relocation of the Vancouver Whitecaps
Oh
to
my
Las
goodness.
Vegas. Now
That's awful.
he did not say when they should,
Like 2037?
not they didn't say next week, they didn't say next month, and nothing like that. Just expect an announcement.
Oh, that is a
The,
gut punch.
the funny thing about that, though, is
Okay.
something else I read today.
There's a punchline in here somewhere.
Yeah. Um, Vancouver Whitecaps, BC government officials, several First Nation leaders were set to meet today being Wednesday, um, to talk about the future of the Whitecaps at BC Place Stadium. So I haven't
Sounds like a
qu
lot of cooks in the kitchen.
yeah, and I haven't quite figured out why these First Nation leaders are involved with this whatsoever.
It's their land,
Um,
according to the BC courts.
there you go. Okay.
So I guess they have a say in it.
So what Global News in BC's reporter, it's Janower. Sorry if I botched the name there, but apparently they're all meeting together to put together a memorandum of understanding regarding the tenure for the next 4 to 5 years at BC Place Stadium. So the idea here is to come up with some ideas how to expand um, revenue for the Whitecaps while staying at BC Place for the next 4 to 5 years. I guess with the idea of a um, looking towards a new soccer specific stadium in that time frame, but also B, making the Whitecaps more profitable so that those apparently 100 people that have looked at buying the Whitecaps but haven't wanted to come back to the table, seeing that there is an expanded revenue, and hopefully, decide to buy the Whitecaps at that time. Um, I read, and I forget if it was so revenue generation is the issue. For the first decade or so, playing at BC Place wasn't a big problem for the team. They didn't generate a ton of revenue, but they weren't having to spend a wild amount of money to remain in the middle of MLS's money table. So
Is that true, do you think?
yeah, I
Like they
definitely
needed to spend to be in the middle?
they the salary cap
Like
has
if
gone
Kansas
up
City can
quite a
have a
bit.
team, surely Van City can have a team.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And if
There's a ton
Las
of smaller markets out there that make it work.
Austin, um, Portland, I
What?
believe. I took a second. Nice.
Hmm.
Uh, Portland, Columbus, which is historically, and for that matter, Columbus is a great example because that's another team that almost moved, and MLS got quite a bit of, I should say, negative feedback on that, and they ended up um, figuring out a scenario where I believe the Cleveland Browns owner ended up buying them. But um, there's not what I'm trying to say is there is like an example of where something like this has happened in MLS before, and the league stepped in to help save the team. So you would hope
Yeah,
they
but
would try to
they
do
were an
that
American
here.
team
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too
without
with
this sexy suitor known as Las Vegas sports now.
yeah, Las Vegas is going to be a very crowded sports market even without MLS. But
Good luck growing grass in the desert. It's a joke. Obviously, they can do it.
um, yeah, the other thing that has come up, so with the World Cup games being played at BC Place Stadium, they've done some renovations to the Whitecaps locker room, which will obviously be used by the World Cup teams when they're there. Um, so they put some money into renovating some of the facilities in the stadium. Um, in the meanwhile, though, the Whitecaps have a Canadian Championship game in July, um, and they're getting displaced from their stadium because of the World Cup. So they're playing in Swangard Stadium. Swangard Stadium is in Burnaby, BC, but according to Google Maps, it's less than half an hour drive from BC Place to Swangard Stadium. So Burnaby is like kind of right next to Vancouver there. So this stadium is the home to the Whitecaps to their reserve team. It's also the home of Vancouver Rise, which is the Women's Northern Super League, the Canadian Women's League.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe that the Vancouver Riptide of the um, um, I think it's called the Ultimate Disc League or the American Ultimate. It's Ultimate Frisbee, Professional Ultimate Frisbee. I believe they play there too.
That's a thing.
Hmm.
Cool.
Absolutely. Go Toronto Rush.
Of course, you
Uh,
know the Toronto team.
um, anyways, it's about a 5 or 6 thousand seat stadium in a big park in Burnaby, and
So they're going
it's
to be playing this game in a 6,000 person stadium.
yes, it's a second round of the Canadian Championship, generally not as well attended. Um, and I have no confirmation of this, but I'm assuming they're going to put up some kind of temporary seating to get more people in there. But this stadium is located in what is it's like this big park called Central Park. Surprise.
Can you throw it up on the screen?
Yes, I can share my screen.
Thank you.
Here is Central Park in Burnaby. There's where the stadium is. As you can see, there is public transit right here. There's the station there. Lots of green space here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, I haven't heard any rumors about this or anything. Maybe it's not because it's not in Vancouver proper, but like, does this not seem like a fantastic spot for a nice new stadium?
No one in that neighborhood would consent to building a stadium in a green space.
They already have one.
Well,
Take, take.
expanding the stadium. They've probably campaigned to tear it down so the Greenland can expand in a natural way. What's the
And
name of this
just
place you said?
the Swangard Stadium, and just zooming out here in and around this area here is where the BC Place Stadium is. So it's, it's not that far. It's makes sense to me with the footprints there. Anyways, it's I haven't heard anything of it being on the table, but it just seems like there might be a solution there.
I don't know how they're going to put up temporary seating at this place.
I have no idea either. All they've done on their social media is taken a picture of the sign that says Swangard Stadium and it says soon. So there hasn't I haven't seen any confirmation as to if they're going to do that or not, or if they're just going to play the game there and it'll just be a minimum size crowd because that's all they can do. Anyways,
So that's all the info. That there's no more Whitecaps news. That's what we got.
that's where we're at this week. Yep. Nothing is solved, but
See him over there.
there it seems to me like that it's leaning more towards moving than it has before, which is unfortunate, but we'll just keep watching it,
This would be a great spot for a stadium.
right?
Looking at these photos.
Mhm. It, fe- it feels like it makes sense to me, but I can confirm that we are not one of those 100 people that kick the tires on the Whitecaps. We have not had the capital.
You don't know that.
Well, I wasn't one of them. How's
Yeah, there
that?
you go.
If you were, why haven't you
Playing my
told me?
cards close to my chest here, buddy. Imagine the smile on your face when I tell you, "Hey, Jared, guess what?"
Yeah. Well,
So it's like it's right on the border of Vancouver and Burnaby.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it seems like.
Can you get there from Vancouver? Yeah, because the thing's there.
hmm hmm Another sports ownership note in Canada. We are both from Brampton. We I'm pretty sure everybody in our league, so everyone that listens to this is from Brampton. So
Side note: I found my the hockey sweater I used for hockey school when I was 6,
nice.
and and my son was wearing that today on the ice. It's
That's cool.
pretty cool moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Now we just got to
great.
wait for him to fit a Goodison insurance jersey
There you go.
and a Jofa helmet.
Yes, absolutely.
I still have mine. I just don't think it would be very safe for him to wear.
I don't think it's safe for anyone to wear even when they were brand new. Uh, um, Getting back to Brampton, there is a team called the Brampton Honey Badgers. Are you aware of this team, Garrett?
I've heard of them.
hmm
Yeah.
They play, it's a basketball team. It's like semi-professional basketball. They play in something called the Canadian Elite Basketball League, which was founded in 2019. It has 10 teams across Canada. Four of them actually are from Ontario, two from Alberta, and then there's one in BC, one in Manitoba, one in Saskatchewan, and one in Quebec. But why am I bringing up a semi-pro basketball team on our primarily hockey and Vancouver Whitecaps podcast?
I don't know, Jer. Why are you?
Mark Cuban has joined the Brampton Honey Badgers ownership group. This
What?
might be the most notable thing to happen to Brampton.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on.
So here's the story.
Rick
The guy,
Nash is the most notable thing to happen to Brampton.
touche, touche.
What?
Gentlemen, yeah, I know it's crazy. So the gentleman that
Did they
owns
pitch him on Shark Tank? Is that what happened?
no, that's hilarious, but no, the guy that owns the Honey Badgers name is Leonard Asper, and he is the president and CEO of Anthem Sports and Entertainment.
The people
Uh,
who own TNA.
that's exactly them, yes.
There's a
But
wrestling connection. I knew it.
absolutely there is.
You
But one
snuck
of
one
the
in.
things that Anthem Sports and Entertainment owns, one of them was the Fight Network that was like wrestling and MMA kind of networking
Yeah.
based out of
Yeah,
Toronto.
yeah.
But one of the properties that he bought is called Access TV. Access TV was a channel started by Mark Cuban. So they have that kind of business connection from
Hmm.
back in the day. So I guess he reached out to Cuban, this Leonard Asper guy, um, and um, and got Cuban involved. So um, I guess when Cuban sold the majority ownership of the Dallas Mavericks, he decided he needed to spend some money on a different basketball team and chose Brampton of all places.
Hey man, it's a growing city.
There
That's all I
are
got. It's probably that's what it's known for.
there
Before this,
are
just growing.
there are a few NBA players that come from Brampton, right?
Yeah, Tristan Thompson from Brampton.
So I guess
Andrew
maybe
Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was a Brampton guy too, I believe.
no, I think he's Hamilton.
Nah.
I will let you Google that, but
Yep.
the other one is AJ Lawson, who had a contract with the Raptors. He may still, I'm not sure. This is really showing my basketball no knowledge. And then there's that Tyler Ennis guy that played with Syracuse in the NCAA, and I have no clue what NBA team he ended up with. But
So this is what Google's telling me.
Google, what is Google telling you?
Brampton is a significant producer of NBA talent, with notable players including Anthony Bennett, Tyler Ennis. Other prominent NBA alumni in the city include Tristan Thompson, Sim
Mhm.
Buehler, and AJ Lawson.
Okay.
Elite coach Dwayne Washington runs the U Play program in Brampton, which has produced several NBA stars, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, RJ Barrett, and Lindell Wigington.
Okay.
So no connection to Andrew Wiggins. I
Uh,
apologize for associating you with Brampton. If you're
but
listening, Andrew,
Andrew,
Mr.
um,
Wiggins.
yeah, yeah. I looked up where he's from Thornhill, so I was wrong about that as well too.
We were all wrong together. That's
There
the
we go.
theme of this podcast.
We s stick to hockey, I guess. So let's do that for a minute and have a quick look at to the NHL playoffs. We knew Carolina had moved on, so there's no surprise there. Right now, Buffalo and Montreal seem to be trading wins back and forth. That series is tied 2-2, and they continue again tomorrow night. Um, right now, Colorado and Minnesota are playing. It's 3-1 for Minnesota with about 2.5 minutes left in the second.
How does that make you feel? Are you sweating right now?
Um, not yet, not yet. Um, I I guess the word I would use is surprised. Surprised at how the Wild went ahead 3-0 in this game. A little I thought that Colorado would kind of finish them off tonight and we'd be moving on. Yeah. So I'm not worried yet, but this is not what I expected tonight to be like. How's that? Yeah, we'll just wait and see. They still have the upper hand in terms of they just need the one win to move on, and Minnesota will be fighting for their life every game. So, and then last night Anaheim lost in overtime, so Vegas jumped ahead 3-2. Um, I
Sorry, Anaheim jumped ahead 3-2.
no Vegas. Vegas
Vegas.
jumped
Okay, yeah.
ahead 3-2. Yeah, Anaheim lost in overtime. I gotta tell you, I'm kind of on board with Anaheim more and more as their playoff run has
Go
gone
Cutter
on.
Gauthier.
When the playoffs started, it was kind of like it's all gravy for them, right? They're back in the playoffs after how many years and all that kind of thing. Um, But the more it goes along, the more I'm like, come on, let's go. Like, let's do this. Let's get rid of Vegas. He got rid of Edmonton. Let's keep going. Like, ride it as long as you can.
Mm.
I think it would be fun to see Anaheim and Colorado in the Western Conference final. Um, I'm definitely worried for whoever comes out of the Buffalo Montreal series. Um, Carolina is very good.
Just rolling along, man.
Yeah, yeah. Haven't lost, haven't really like haven't like it wasn't even like they've struggled. It's just like they just kind of kept doing what they got to do, and now they're gonna have like a whole week off at least. And yeah,
They've all, I think they've had the easiest road in.
yeah, it's hard to argue that absolutely.
Who do they
Just
play in the
looking at
first
the
round?
bracket. Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Yeah,
Okay. Ottawa.
yeah. We didn't expect much there.
No, no. They
Um,
did, but no one else did. I did
y
think I picked them. No, I picked Carolina to go
mhm.
on. No, I picked Pittsburgh over Philly, but like Philly's, you're not expecting anything from them either.
No,
And they also beat Pittsburgh, so it's
I definitely thought the winner of that series, whoever it was going to go to lose to Carolina. Definitely. Um, maybe not so brutally, but
yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, whoever comes through, Buffalo or Montreal, puts up a good fight. But um, we'll see. We'll see. They've still got a lot of hockey to go while Carolina sits there and rests up.
Yeah, sometimes that's not good though. We've seen that a lot of times.
That's true. That
They
is
get out
true.
of the rhythm, out of the routine,
hmm
while the other
Well,
teams just stay in that rhythm.
I would I would hope that happen. Because I would much rather Montreal or Buffalo go to the Stanley Cup final than
Fun
Carolina.
fact, I'm looking at this. No second place team is in this round.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, yeah.
Dallas lost to Minnesota. Tampa Bay lost to Montreal. Pittsburgh lost to Philly.
And yeah, Edmonton
And
lost
Edmonton lost
to,
to Anaheim.
yeah, there you go. Well, they do say that the first round of the NHL playoffs is the most exciting in all of sports, right?
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I'm totally just trying to get a reaction out of you.
They say it's the
Uh,
best format in all of sports.
and just to keep
They
that,
being Gary.
yeah, well, let's bring a picture of him up for you right now with the next
Oh, gosh.
piece of news.
I'm looking at playoff brackets. I'm not switching to the Zoom meeting, despite you.
Gary and the NHL informed teams that the salary cap for the 26-27 season will rise to $104 million.
Whatever.
So that comes from the 95.5 this limit this past season. So everybody will have a little bit more money to play with.
Yeah, it's relative, right? So,
Mhm.
you know,
Good
the
job.
players will ask for more percentage of the cap, and it's a wash. It doesn't really, I don't know.
Yeah, and somebody will give out a giant contract to eat up a bunch of that cap anyways, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is how it is, but just a note.
Yeah,
We did briefly talk last week about like I think the question popped up from you just who won the Calder Trophy or who won the Rookie of the Year, and we
Matthew
this
Schaefer.
it happened. It happened today. Yeah, Islanders D-man Matthew Schaefer won the Calder Trophy, so congrats to him. I guess the Leafs will also be hoping for something like that next year with their first overall pick. But we'll get to the Leafs in a minute. The Edmonton Oilers were interested in former Las Vegas Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy, but apparently the Knights said no, can't have him. They denied the Oilers the opportunity to speak to him about um, coming on with the team. So what's interesting about this, first of all, is well, two things really. The first thing is when a NHL team relieves a coach from their coaching duty, but they still have a contract, that team continues to pay that coach.
Right.
Um, so
Weird.
if a new team wants to hire them, basically the team that is already paying them, A, has to give them permission. The Knights didn't do that here. And then the new team would pick up the financial obligation.
Mm-hmm.
The other interesting thing about this is the Oilers have a head coach. There's no coaching vacancy.
This
Chris,
was definitely leaked by some rat in Vegas.
yeah,
Just
yeah, it
sewered
feels
Edmonton Oilers. A division. They're in the same division, aren't they?
yes, but yeah, it's weird to me. Edmonton still like they haven't fired their head coach or anything. So what do they want from this? Like, do they want to secure a new head coach before they fire the old one? Um,
Well, like
like
the you know, McDavid and Draisaitl have been saying it's just not good enough for a while, and maybe now it's well, you want to make McDavid happy, Draisaitl happy.
yeah,
You got to change something. You're not changing them,
no, you're
you
definitely
know.
not.
So,
Yeah.
who's
Um,
the current coach of the Oilers?
Chris Noblock, no, Knobloch.
No, okay,
Yeah. So, but he's also the coach that brought them to the back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, right?
fair
So,
enough.
I don't know.
What have you done for me lately, though?
I guess so. Um, I guess that's a fair question and one that the Leafs have been asking because to this afternoon they fired Craig Berube. Two
This
years.
is a surprise to me.
Me too,
Like it all
honestly.
looked like they were gonna have a clean slate. It looked like Matthews was more likely to leave than Berube.
Hmm. I agree with that actually.
And like, why
Um,
wouldn't you keep him? As I've said before, as like a shield. You know,
mhm.
eat the time. Like he's so it's fascinating because they haven't even talked to Matthews yet.
They must have. They must have. That's my only answer to this is they must have talked to him. And he must have said get rid of him. Because I can't understand why else he's been there for 2 years, man. This is nothing.
They just want a clean slate. And just we got good goaltending last year. This year, injuries, no goaltending. Just the wheels fell off. I feel bad for him,
Yeah, me too.
but because you know how I feel about the attitude of this team,
Hmm.
and no one's gonna change that culture DNA until those guys are gone, whoever those people are. I could guess on one finger, you know, who I'm talking about.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's disappointing because he came in with great fanfare, and the first year, that playoff series with Florida, you got them as close as any
Yeah, that's true too.
two.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, I don't know. You know how I feel about the playoffs. You know how I feel about all of this already.
Hmm.
So, like in short, he wasn't the problem. I don't think he was the problem.
No, I don't think so
Um,
either.
but like yeah,
And
he's
then
probably relieved.
I, yeah, maybe. Um, the
I don't
other,
know.
th- the other thing that like, I think I mentioned it last week, is like the kind of the notion of like, why did they hire who they hired for the whole head office scenario? And I, mentioned maybe there was nobody else that was willing to do it. I know you disagree, and I can
I'm
understand
skeptical of
why.
that, but yeah,
But like now they're canning Berube. Who wants to be the coach here? You know what I mean? Like
you're
I
not gonna get like a former Stanley. I'm skeptical you'll get like a former Stanley Cup winner. It's gonna be like a newer guy.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the rumors have already started, but yeah, I can't imagine that. Um, I can't imagine it's going to be like another big name kind of guy or guy that's
Yeah, yeah,
won
it's
or
hard to
whatever.
believe. I think it's
I
one
mean,
thing to be the GM of a team because then
hmm
you're kind of guaranteed at least a few years to put your fingerprints on this.
hmm
But
hmm
this organization just grinds out coaches like they're extra lean ground beef. Like it's just put them through the grinder. They're here for 2 years and they're gone. 3 years and they're gone. And
Yeah.
that's most coaches, right? That don't kind of have any success. Even if you do get to a few finals or whatever, you're still on the block because you're the easiest piece for the GM to move and replace.
hmm That's true. Right away, one of the things I saw that Elliot Freeman from Sportsnet uh, posted is it sounds like the Leafs are chasing Manny Malhotra, who's the head coach of the Abbotsford Canucks, who is the AHL affiliate of the Vancouver Canucks. So, that says to me, they're looking to try with somebody that's been in the development stream, I guess, if you want to
Working with
call
the
it
younger
that.
kids,
Yeah, because obviously the big draft pick coming up and all that kind of connection there. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously that's immediate reaction kind of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It
I don't mind them
feels
taking a flyer on somebody. You know that stat? There's only one coach who's won a Stanley Cup. Oh my gosh, with more than one team.
yeah, and I know this has come up before, but I can't remember who it is.
I'm gonna let
Remind
you
me.
think about it for a while. But
Okay.
it's that kind of thing where it's just like hockey's an old sport, and to think there's only one coach who's done that,
hmm Yeah,
that's an
that's
incredible stat.
hmm
Whoever that person may be.
You're killing me, man.
Scotty Bowman.
Right, right. Yeah, Montreal and Detroit.
So statistically, it makes sense to hire somebody who hasn't won a cup.
Yeah, I guess so. uh yeah, well, there's a joke there too about being hired by the Leafs mean you probably won't be the coach to win a Stanley Cup, but
I don't know, man. I don't.
yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird thing. You think, oh, he's done it before. He could do it again with our team, but that doesn't seem to be the case in the NHL.
Well,
For I don't know why that would be.
it's a hard thing to do,
Sure.
so it's not just necessarily you know hire someone who did it and they'll magically do it again, but um clearly it isn't. But yeah, I just don't think anyone in the Leafs right now, all the way up from Keith Pelly and all of them, all the way to from the top down to probably the guy that puts the gloves on the glove warmers, or the guy that's what, let's get Dan in here. Dan, do you know what the Leafs are doing? Because you might know better than anyone else in this organization.
Well, I sent Dan a DM.
hmm
Ironically, that's like everywhere I'm reading and hearing is Chayka saying that, we've talked to everyone, including the chefs. I'm like, he keeps mentioning the chef. So I'm like, I'm going to ask a chef who works for MLSE and see if this is true.
Has he responded?
It's a good question. I don't think so. He's probably in bed.
Nah. Oh, that's too bad. Um, the chef might know better though. The one thing he does know
I
is
mean, how
uh,
desperate are you? Nothing against, you know, you're just kind of talking to everybody.
yeah, they've got to
We've
say
consulted every
stuff like that.
podcaster out there. We're doing our due diligence.
hmm Of course, the
Like,
first thing I saw on social media too was did Pelly ask um, Chat GPT if he should fire Berube? So
can we get Sam Altman out here and being like pulling up those records?
yeah, absolutely.
The
We'll keep,
sideshow continues.
yeah, exactly. And we'll keep following it because it gives us something to talk about. Um, quick note to the PHL folks. Please vote on the poll that I posted so that we can start moving forward on the off-season stuff.
Is this
Um,
for rule changes?
this is for, well, the first vote is for if we're gonna move our main chat to WhatsApp. Want to solve that because if we can get everybody on that app talking, then we can start moving forward with the rule change stuff that we've talked about and start deciding the what's next for the PHL. So vote, 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 please. We've got 8 votes so far, so um,
Can I give you my vote without actually doing a survey?
you can absolutely. Let's do it
I mean,
right
and
here.
live in the pun, live-ish.
Yeah,
I vote yay.
fantastic. 9 votes in. Another couple news no well, it's 2 news notes rolled into one. How much, let me ask you this first. How much of the PWHL are you familiar with? Have you watched? Are you into professional women's hockey? Are you not sure of what's going on there? Like,
It's here's the truth of it all. I'm
yeah,
barely into professional hockey or sports. Period. I
that.
love I love the I pay attention to our fantasy stuff. I like
Mhm,
talking about the news and the headlines, but
mhm,
to sit down and watch a game,
mhm,
it's pretty rare. Like a whole, especially a whole game. So I know Toronto has a team, and the league's doing well,
mhm.
and that's awesome.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
professional opportunities for women, for men, for everyone.
Hmm.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Um, okay, so quick background into professional women's hockey. Um, Going back to 1999, there was a league called the National Women's Hockey League. It was a professional league that was in Ontario and Quebec. They didn't pay the
They played out
women.
of like South Fletcher's
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
Century Gardens and stuff. Like,
We had the Brampton Thunder and yeah. Um, there was also a league called the Western Women's Hockey League, so Alberta and Vancouver specifically, and then they also had some Western US teams. But basically, by 2011, that was all done,
all
right?
gone. Oh,
Yeah. But in the meanwhile, another league popped up called the Canadian Women's Hockey League, and that operated until 2019. It was kind of weird because they actually had a couple teams in China for some
oh,
reason, a couple American teams, but
it's
that
like China
was
trying to get in their
it was
hooks more into Canadian culture.
I guess it
That's for
was
a different podcast.
it was very weird though. That's the when we were playing over at Century Gardens and they were on the other rink playing professional women's hockey while we were playing shinny, in the time slot after. As you can guess, they didn't pay players there either. So by 2019, that had folded, and a new National Women's Hockey League, which after a couple seasons they renamed the Premier Hockey Federation,
Hmm.
popped up. This was primarily American teams. Um, they had a team in Toronto by the end of it called the Toronto Six. I don't know if you remember that, but that was
No.
that was like, based on the whole Drake thing. Anyways, it only lasted a couple seasons, and they were paying, I believe it was 2.5 million was like the budget for the entire league. So, for 7 teams, spread that across 2.5 million. They weren't paying these ladies a lot of money. And what happened in 2003, um, Mark Walter and Billie Jean King came in and bought it. Now, Mark Walter, you might not recognize that name, but Mark Walter owns the Los Angeles Lakers. He's a partial owner of the the Dodgers. He's a partial owner of Chelsea Football Club. So he owns a lot of different sports properties. But they came in and they bought this league and shut it down completely. This
Oh,
Premier
why would you
Hockey
buy a league and shut
Federation.
a league? It's a
Well,
weird choice.
because they wanted to start fresh and they created the Professional Women's Hockey League, which started play
Fair enough.
in 2023, 24. They actually pay the ladies, and it's been a pretty decent success for the most part in terms of attendance. So they do this tour, and it's called the PWHL Takeover Tour.
Cool.
And essentially, they play a couple regular season games in markets where they don't have teams,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, they're testing out the waters for expansion. The PWHL tour for this year was Hamilton, Halifax, um, and I believe Detroit for sure. And I think that was it. Anyways, oh, Chicago was the other one. There we go. And Winnipeg. And basically, they test the markets out. They yeah, they end up giving expansion teams. So last year, Vancouver got a team and Seattle got a team. So they've
Mm-hmm.
expanded kind of out west. This week, or since we last recorded, they announced that Detroit is getting a team next year. And so they
Hmm.
announced this on May 6th. So Detroit's going to have a team playing. I don't believe they announced. Yeah, they did announce it's going to be at the Little Caesars Arena. So they're going to be playing in the NHL venue. And then this morning, they announced Hamilton and Las Vegas are getting teams as well.
Of course,
So,
Las Vegas. Las
yeah,
Vegas is getting all the teams.
exactly. So to tie into what we were talking about earlier with Vegas, and to tie into my Christmas list, wish list. We're getting professional hockey in Hamilton. It's not men's professional hockey, it's women's professional hockey, but that's okay.
That's great.
That so they're going to be playing at the renovated TD Coliseum in Hamilton, and in Las Vegas they're also going to be playing at the T-Mobile Arena. So they're playing in NHL arenas for this league, and they're doing a good job. Boston's playing in a smaller rink where they're only getting 6,000, but Toronto's playing at Coca-Cola Coliseum. They're getting 8,000 there, regularly selling out. Otherwise, they're playing in NHL rinks, and they're, for the most part, getting over 10,000 on average. So they're doing all right, and they're rapidly expanding this league. So that will be um, 11, so 12, 13. So that'll be 14 teams next year. There's rumors of a potential 15th team as well in Chicago, but
I
that
was to say in
hasn't
Brampton.
been.
Get Mark Cuban on the
I was
phone.
gonna say,
You've tried basketball. Have you tried hockey?
there you go. Yeah, who knows? Maybe maybe Mark Cuban's gonna put Brampton all the way on the map with that.
Just gonna move here. That's
Mhm.
funny.
So yeah, that's what's happening with the PWHL, and I have tried to get tickets to the Scepters, but on the secondary market, the Toronto team sells for a lot of money, and it's
Well, that should be done now because they passed a law preventing that from happening.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But with Hamilton coming in, maybe that'll
Season
make,
ticket holder.
oh, I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe that'll free up or give another opportunity for taking the kids to see a game. So that'll be
Mm-hmm.
fun. That's about all the breaking-ish news I have this week. Um, so we'll keep an eye on the poll. Hopefully, we'll have some results on that poll for next week for the PHL folks, and we'll be back here again next week with more news.
Sounds good.
All right, have a good week, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
The Money Sauce Podcast with your hot saucy J and Jer.